Hi folks, got camera working at last I hope. Um, just make a quick adjustment so I get my face in hopefully. There we are. This video is going to be talking about the criminal record check, DBS check they call it. If you're planning on whether you're moving from one caring role to another care home, or residential care, for example, or community care, it doesn't matter. You still have to have a criminal record check. See if you've been a naughty girl or a naughty boy. And I've concluded that this is an absolute scam because it's a big money-making thing. It might be, a good idea at the time, but there's, what the ironic thing is, you could already be a carer and you fed up at your job and you want to move over to another place. So you just make an application to another care home, they'll offer you the job, you go, bloody marvellous. But it's not that simple because you then have to wait for a start date with the new place. And they can't give you a start date for the new place until their version of your criminal record check is processed, because all care homes, no matter what, will, even if they take you on and they know you're a current carer in another place, they have to do their own criminal record check, and DBS check is called. So what you do is you either stay in the role you're at until your application has been processed. But what if you really hate the place that you work in, or it's untenable and you really can't stand it anymore? You're really going to be stuck waiting. So if you go home and say, that's it, I had enough, I have to wait now for my criminal record check to be processed by my new employer where they've offered you to do the job. You then there sit at home twiddling your thumbs. Okay. And it can be a really long wait. 6 weeks, 9 weeks, 12 weeks. Now, what do you do in the meantime? Well, you can't go working in the new care home that you've been offered a job in because they can't take you on until that special bit of paper comes back saying clear, clear, clear. Are you a major crim? Are you involved in children? Blah, blah, blah. You have to be squeaky clean to be a carer in a care home. And I think the whole business is a money-making scam. I think once you've got your certificate of clarity, there's nothing stopping me, you see, having 100% clearance, doing things on the side that are unspeakable, whatever you want to imagine. I could be quite brutal, and nobody'd know and nobody'd find out. And I could be quite a bad carer, if I wanted to be, if I was working in a role as a carer, and short of being fired. It's quite cushy. But do not leave your job and let them know you've got a job to go to until you have a new job lined up and you've now working one job while you're waiting to be cleared for the next one. And then when you've got your clearance, you can then tell your current ones to take a hike and you're going somewhere else, thanks. And you can almost then start immediately and sever ties with your current employer and go and move over to the new one, because you're now cleared. But that clearance can take, as I said, a considerable amount of time. So you have to be careful, because it can take months, I kid you not, months for you to get clearance in a new role. So if you're planning to move on from where you are, okay, make it known, go for an interview, but don't leave your current role unless you've got something else to do in the meantime to make some money. Either stick with it, grin and bear it, knowing that you're going to pastures new soon, it'll all be better there, but do not even think about leaving your current role because you cannot transfer your DBS check with one care home and move it along with you to another. Well, what's the difference? Let's say the care homes are 100 yards apart. You're very successfully employed, no problem at all in the one you've got, and they love you to bits, but you just don't like be working there, and you want to change, and you go to a new place. They can't take you on because you might be a crim. Well, if I was a crim, I wouldn't be working where I am. But we don't know that. We want to make sure you yesterday or the day before, unknown to your current employer, you might have been a naughty person. Isn't that sick? I think that, the whole thing is a money-making scam by the government. And it's just typical, isn't it, in this business? I mean, I can go and get cleared, and go to a new care home, got clearance for another one, they've paid for it, so it's their thing. And I've had the inconvenience of having to wait 9 weeks before I can start my new job, and I'm in the new role. Okay. And in the meantime, I could do what I want in my private life. Of course I can. But it's all about who's going to carry the can if I get caught, in the care home arena at work, being abusive towards an elderly person or, doing something criminal to them. Who's going to carry the can? Well, apart from me going to prison or, getting arrested and spending some time in clink, there's no defence, is there? Simply because somebody's got a clear criminal record, yes, it might show that they don't have a tendency or a proclivity to go and want to do these crimes against people, abuse them in any way. The care home want a good thing, but it's hardly a litmus test to see the goodness of somebody's character, a criminal record check, because everybody's guilty of something in life, and there's an awful lot of carers, who do abuse, sad to say, the elderly and the vulnerable and children whilst they're in their care. But when they started where they're working, their sheet was a clear wrap. There was no criminal record. They become criminal. Okay, they just haven't been caught, and if they haven't been caught, it won't appear on the criminal record check. You see, the name of the game for these abusers who work in care homes that you often see video of is that they never seem to get caught unless you have closed-circuit CCTV in the residents' rooms, which is catching on like crazy now because relatives are starting to insist on CCTV. Yes, it invades the privacy of the residents, but it's for their safety. And I think it's a good thing. If you're a good carer, you really don't care whether you're being surveilled or not, do you, really? Because it's not for your benefit, it's for your safety, because maybe the resident can make up things about what you've been doing to them, and that's absolutely untrue. So there is documented proof as a recording for your activities during that time they suggest you were abusing them. And yet many abusers, i.e. carers who become abusers, and there's plenty of them, get caught because they fail to recognise that, smile please, they're on candid camera in all the residents' rooms and they didn't realise it. The care home is under no obligation to tell you whether you're being surveilled doing your job as a carer on their charges. So if you don't do anything illegal and nasty and antisocial and hurtful towards a resident, you've got nothing to worry about, have you? If you're doing your job properly. So it's only the crims really that worry about such things, because I would never worry about going in to give someone care. I'd do my best all the time. And I would never, ever, ever hurt a vulnerable person, old or young. I would always strive to make them keep their dignity and do what they can for themselves, and help them where they need help and clean them where they need cleaning. But this scam, so even though if you're happy in your job and you're just not happy in the care home that you're working with, or the environment you're working with, or the colleagues you're working with, and you do decide to move on, rest assured that do not leave your current role until your criminal record checks have been completed by there's nothing stopping you going for interviews. Don't tell anybody. Go, have your interview, get offered the job, shake on it, say, yep, start the ball rolling with this criminal record check. Okay? And I shall be carrying on where I am for now, and I can grin and bear it, and you'll have a continuity of income. Woe betide you if you leave thinking you're going to get straight into the new job, because life ain't like that. The new care home that's going to employ you and made a job offer, may have offered you a job offer. Marvellous, well done. But you then have to be patient, because they don't have the Midas touch to speed up time. And the sheer numbers of people waiting for the criminal record check, the DBS check, to be done upon them is months now. It's not weeks, it's a series of months. And a lot of people said, oh, sod this caring game. I can't be bothered. I'm not waiting around for months for my criminal record check, which I know will be clean. I can't hang around, but too late. You've lost your job, you've lost your income. Do not leave your current job until you know that your DBS check has come through to your new employers, and you can say au revoir to the place you are and say goodbye. And then, let's say you say goodbye on a Friday, you can say to the new place, hey, I'm free now, I can start on Monday as agreed. And it's a continuity of income for you. Otherwise, you'll get yourself in trouble financially if you do jump before you're prepared, or they're prepared to receive you, because they will not take the risk of employing you until you are considered by them as squeaky clean. So I hope this has done you some good to listen to, although I maybe sort of murdered it. But so many people applied to care homes, and they, in their first job as a carers, and they're really pleased they've had their DBS check, it's flown through and they've got in because they've got real no history. But then you want to go from that job to another, and you think it's just a question of quitting one job and going straight into another and having a continuity of income. It's not going to work, because now the CRM check, the paperwork you have to get, or they have to complete to get you checked. Waiting list is phenomenal, and you cannot expedite it. You might expedite it for a few days by paying extra fee, but so many people do that anyway. It just becomes another bottleneck. So be conscious of the fact that do not leave one job before you've got clearance and in writing from your new employer that the DBS has come through clean, here's the start date, please report to the office on that day, and now you have peace of mind to know that you'll have a continuity of income. I hope that's clear for you, and thanks for watching. Any comments or questions, put them in the comments and I'll see if I can get back to you and answer them. Otherwise, carry on regardless.